channel, and on this episode we're looking at suspension forks, Pierce ones in particular. These ones are in beautiful condition. I can't take any credit for these. I bought them refurbished and serviced up, and they are absolutely mint and perfect for the job. There's a couple of little nitpicky bits, like I could maybe plate the bolts and stuff, but they are beautiful. Now they are for my Dave Hemming build, so that was the reason for buying them, and that's the reason for keeping them perfect like that. We'll just keep them ones there. Now, seeing as I've seen them turn up in such lovely condition, I'm sorry about the poor light, but we're having to stand near the kitchen sink because that's where we're going to be doing this stuff. These ones are some manky old things I've got that I'm going to use on another build, but they desperately need stripping, cleaning, pause components, stripping, cleaning, servicing, and probably some new elastomers or springs because they are knackered, look, as you can see. Right, so I'm wondering if we can get them into good as fettle as them to put on my next build. I've never stripped a pair of Pierce before. I've got a handful of bits and pieces I'll show you, just a couple of Allen keys and some cleaning materials. I'm hopefully going to strip them all down, get them in the sink, get as much parts cleaned and washed and stuff as we can. Look at getting some new elastomers. Well, actually tell a lie, I've already got a load of elastomers. I'm hoping some of the elastomers fit. And I've had to make a steering tube for this at work. So it goes in because I only need like an inch diameter. Now, a useful bit of knowledge for you here. I made that at work. I am a machine engineer, and I also, when I went to college in 2000, from 2000 to 2004 at YCC in Scarborough, I actually went with Josh Blackshire and Alex Hepworth, who work for Pierce. So that was interesting. Not that it really affects you guys, but yeah, so I used to see some really cool stuff coming to their garages. Well, Josh's garage is particularly because he lived next to the college before it would even be released to you guys, or maybe even didn't even get released, because he was always out testing new bikes and stuff, and it was cool working there, I think, for them, because they worked Monday to Thursday, and then Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon was reserved for biking. So I suppose that's a perk about working for a bike shop or bike components company. That's how I mean. Anyway, so we're going to have a go at stripping these. I'm going to put some music on for you guys because I'm going to listen to some music, and I don't think you want to listen to what I want to listen to. So we'll get on with these. If there is any big snags, I'll video them, because you need to know about this sort of stuff, don't we? Also, if there's any specialist tools, which I hope there's not, I'll also let you know. And I bought some nice, the white silicone, which I saw the guy who built them would use. It's a PTFE based silicone grease for rebuilding. Downside is I've lost it somewhere. I'll find it because I only bought it the other day, but it's somewhere amongst all my crap, so we'll have to find it before we get to rebuilding stage. But we've got to dig some elastomers out anyway for this as well first, and make sure we can get it packed back up to where it should be. But hopefully we'll have a go with them. Right, I'm stopped playing with these now. I'll get on with building. Right, so let's have a look. Right guys, this is as far as I've got today. I'm only stopping really because I don't want to risk damaging anything and need to do a little bit of research. Two bits I've struggled with. Firstly is where this boss meets the clamp that goes around the leg and through the brace. And it's set that to work, just hold that in the vise and just carefully ease that out. And secondly, I also need to invest in a 9mm. Thought I had one, I've been having to use a 10 with a shimming just to break the cantilever mounting points off. There is some glue on the inside of one of these stanchions, just inside there, and there's a cap that goes in it with a thread in it. Now the thread is still in the leg there. Now I need to get that out carefully so I can get it put back in. I'll contact Josh, or ask Josh's if he'll do me a favour and get me in contact with his boss, the owner of Pace, and see if he can give me intel on what glue to use to put that back in there to make sure it stays in, because whatever they did, it lasted a lot of years, but it needs replacing. I don't want to go to the expense of replacing the legs unnecessarily, so I might as well put it in with the same as what they use to put it in. I can hear kids upstairs screaming, playing bloody computer games. The elastomers or springs or whatever they're in there, I can't get out of that leg until I release that cap out of there and put it back in its rightful place. This one, I'm not quite sure what it was supposed to have in it, but I've undone it and there doesn't seem to be a great deal in there, so I'm going to have to do a bit of research. No one's infallible. While I'm doing a bit of research and see what elastomers or springs or whatever go in these, I'll have a look, see if I can get some replacement decals for these, or even while I'm on the phone to Josh's boss, see whether I can get him to give me a lead to where to get some. The rest of this is all aluminium. They've got a bit of surface corrosion there, no problem, that'll all clean up nicely, and put it on the buffing wheel and we'll bring it back up shiny. If you don't like shiny, just take it back down again with wet and dry, and that'll put that dull look to it again. The wiper seals on there look like they are bollocks, so while I'm there I'll see if I can get a part number for these and see if I can get some wiper seals, because I don't know if you can see in there, you might not see close up, but the wiper seals have got dings and marks in there, going to seal much, so it's pointless going to all this effort and expense if we're not going to just replace them, because then we'll just be back in square one within a couple of months time if we decide to ride it out in muddy trails or if we get caught short. Right, we're going to tackle the last leg now. This is the last bit we need to do. So these things are sent to test us. So I've dug out my socket set. I've got a little mini socket set that I use. That one I've cut down a 4mm Allen key because the leg, oh not that one, we've done that one. The leg here, as you pull the stanchion out, the stanchion had a cap in it with a cap screw in, or with the M6 thread in to receive the cap screw out of the leg there. So in the two, you're supposed to undo the cap screw and pull it out, but the cap's come off, it's in there amongst all that debris from the elastomers. So we'll have to try and free that off in there. So what I'm going to do is push that back in, the stanchion in, push it in nice and tight. And this is going to come in two phases. If this doesn't work the first time, we'll have to come back to it tomorrow. And the cap screw head in the leg, there is an M4. There's an M4 there. I've just cut down an old Allen key and just inserted it into one that would fit perfectly from a socket set. Put my driver piece on, that in there, and hopefully we're going to set my pistol drill to impact or hammer. I'm hoping it'll go wide enough to accept that. If we don't, this whole thing's ruined. Right, it has. So now, tighten that up. So now I've got that on hammer setting, which is like impact. Oh, very similar. Oh, we've lost the bit. We're going to put that in there and hold the stanchion up tight against the cap that's come off it. And hopefully, with a hammer setting on reverse, we should be able to free it off. If this doesn't work first go, we're going to put a bit of glue on the stanchion, slot it back over in the bottom in there, and hopefully it'll set overnight. And then tomorrow, when we give it a crack, it'll have a little bit extra grip on it. It's not just giving, it's not giving. Right, so we're going to glue that in there then. We're going to take that stanchion out, we're going to clean that off, we're going to stick some glue in, push that back in so it goes over the cap that's in there, leave it to set overnight, and hopefully that should just give it enough bite that when I hit this with the impact, it'll pull it out. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to start thinking outside the box, but we've got a plan, we're not going to give up yet. So we'll get on with that. Stick a bit of glue in there and then we're off. So right, since we failed on the last one, what I said I was going to do was glue that stanchion, put some glue in the stanchion, sorry, slot it back in and slot it over the cap that's stuck in here. So when you back that cap bolt off, with the impact of, well, I'm using like a hammer function of a pistol drill, you should back it off. Now, I said I'd hope it would work. It has worked. I can now spin that out. So that cap screw was come undone. It's there, I can see it. I've clamped on there, which is hidden anyway by the crown, so that's not too much of a bigger deal. If I have marked it, obviously don't want to normally damage stanchions, but a light gripping on there where it's hidden by the stanchions is fine. Hopefully now. There we go. Brilliant.
On a whole nother level. Girl, he only fucked you over cause you let him. Girl, I guess he didn't know any better. Girl, that man didn't show me ever. Do all I can just to show you you're special. Certain it's your love that holds me together. And you say